Hello, hello, everybody. We're back. It's exciting. More middle school magic. My name is Robert. I'm joined with Andrew here in the booth. How's it going, Andrew?
Pretty good. Hey everybody.
Hi. Oh man.
We got round five of our league, um, and we've got the two remaining undefeated players, and
Yep.
they are the two hosts of our little club. So
Oh yeah. I don't think we've gotten to see Stu or versus Tweety on stream ever, and this is kind of there are so many bragging rights that they're playing for right now. If you haven't been a part of our leagues, or if you have, Tweety and Stu are one of the biggest reasons these things happen. Stu is our wonderful TO, and Tweety just produces everything. The graphics on this stream, he helped make happen. Stream he's helped make happen. So these guys are great. It's great to see them battle each other.
yeah, for sure. And they are the two undefeated people left in this league, and they both have a couple of beautiful decks as a preview.
Let's take a look at Tweety's deck here. All right, so Tweety's deck looks really good. It's blue, white, red, kind of angel control, as they say. Meddling mages, some moms, lightning angels, an exalted angel, full set of sword to plowshares, lightning bolts. Really good cards in the format. Force of Wills, an exclusive to middle school. This deck is sweet. Fire and Ices, Community Knowledge. It's a control deck. It is a.
It's like kind of aggro control, which
It
is
is
not a
aggro
lot of
control.
in this format. Putting some pressure on with the meddling mages and lightning angels,
Yep.
and quite a bit of burn with the fire ices and bolts.
Yep.
The name of this deck is a very contentious subject. you called it like angel control, and then like I think it's like Star Spangled Slaughter or the
Sure.
Solution
Yeah.
or Patriot. And
It's red, white, and
there's
blue, you know?
yeah much debate over what the right name for this deck is. I know the
Well,
original solution was like blue white block constructed,
sure.
but but evolutions of that people started calling the solution. So
Well, the next deck is definitely not a question. It is red. It is red through
yeah,
and through. This is Stu. Stu's playing a burn sort of Sligh list.
yeah, for sure. Stu definitely plays there's kind of different slants you can take with Sligh, and some
Yep.
people play it more aggressive and some people play it a little more controlling. I think Stu leans on the side, because you see that he doesn't have any copies of Ball of Lightning in his deck.
Right.
Just more burn spells. And like you can also see with his sideboard plan, kind of leans a little more controlling. He's got 3 ensnaring bridges in the sideboard.
Yep.
Says I can just lock down the board and just burn you out.
Bring in
So
those vortexes with those bridges. Absolutely. You also see, too, he's got the full set of wastelands and ports, and he's playing a few extra lands than the red decks typically play. So he's very land heavy, and his plan is to leverage his ports, leverage his mana intensive, permanents like Scroll Rack as well, to provide a bit more luck and kind of controlling. So I definitely agree. This is definitely more of a controlling slant to Sligh. Um, the Sligh deck I play is definitely more aggro. Does not play. It only plays 4 non-basic lands that are not mountains. So you can play ball lightnings and actually cast them reliably. But Stu is very fond of this version, this slant of the deck. You can see as he's committed to making it beautiful. So pop
yeah,
quiz
this
for
is
the
a
chat.
project he's been working on for a while,
Yeah.
and there's some really cool altars in here. Like I really like the Mog Fanatics in the upper left with classic art behind each one that he's like jumping.
Yep.
uh, and the ensnaring bridges have different iconic creatures from the era on each bridge. So like, there's some really cool ones in here. So
So pop quiz for the chat. If you had this deck, the last cards to get altered here are these wastelands and these curse scrolls. Would you alter these Japanese misprinted curse scrolls, which have the incorrect activation cost, or would you get new ones to alter? What would you do? This was a question that came up earlier between the 4 of us. So, but before we answer that, we're gonna go ahead and get to the magic, which has started here. We have Stu on the draw here, it looks like, because he's playing his second land here, and he started with the Seal of Fire. And we're going to start with just going 3 to the dome, open serve. Tweety says, yeah, that resolves.
Is that island on Tweety's side?
I believe that is actually Fuji into island, so that is mountain into island. So we don't have double blue up, but we now have double blue. Okay, so we've got the Mount Fuji into a double island. Tweety bringing his Euro lands out to play.
Yeah, so this is either a really good sign or really bad sign for Tweety. It could be a really bad sign that he has no white sources, or a really good sign that he's just drawn all basic lands to not deal himself any damage with his 3-color mana base.
Right. All right, so we're going to see a Curse Scroll from Stu off of his Wasteland. Stu noticeably only with 1 red mana source.
Yeah, although double Wasteland means Tweety better have a basic plane.
Are we going to Intuition here? So this is Intuition. Apologies that most of it is off camera. That is the nature of playing with webcam sometimes. Do we Intuition for 3 planes? Is that what we do? Do we even have 3 planes in the deck?
Possible. I mean, the default is 3 AKs.
3 AKs. Okay, yeah, that's way better. Yeah, no. I'd rather draw 3 cards than draw 1 planes.
But a planes is incredibly valuable here, given that Stu's on double Wasteland and you already have basics of your other 2 colors. So,
yep.
But draw 3, probably can find some white sources.
Yeah. I imagine we can find white sources with this. I mean, it is a 3-color deck. It does have some decent double source mana. Probably some City Brasses.
I'm not sure why all 3 of the AKs are in the graveyard right now. I guess he's like in the process of casting them.
Oh, he might have actually cast one earlier in the game and we missed it. Because there's 4 now in the yard.
Yeah.
So we probably cashed one in for 1, and then yeah, that is kind of a weird order.
Yeah, I don't think that's what happened.
No, because 1 just went back to his hand. Yeah, Brian. Yeah. Tweety realized he goofed. Okay, because he only drew the 3 cards.
Just flexing. By the way, I've got 4 more cards in my hand than you realize.
Wow. All right. Well, we're gonna see an Incinerate at the end of turn to bring Tweety down to 14. Tweety did find a white source, which was not long for this world.
Yeah, and Stu, like keeping the pressure on, knowing that Tweety has unlimited resources right now.
Stu noticeably missing land drops, and I think that is going to be a problem for him, because if he can't deploy multiple spells a turn, I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with Tweety.
Yeah, I mean, Tweety has...
Especially while he resolves 2 AKs.
Double blue, but actually Tweety doesn't need double blue because he's not playing counterspell, he's just playing mana leak.
Okay.
Oh, and here's the basic playing.
Here comes the planes. All right, so more Euroland from Tweety. Talk about pretty decks.
Yeah, Tweety's deck is almost all foil with some pretty spicy ones like Japanese foil, Lightning Angels.
Ooh, those are pretty. All right, so we're going to see a Lightning Angel come out to play. This is the single signed copy that he's got. Stu's going to immediately drop down, take 3 damage.
Yeah, and Lightning Angel is just so good in these aggro matchups because it blocks and attacks.
Yes.
It's really hard to race a Lightning Angel.
Yeah, and that's where it comes down to Stu needs to hit his land drops now in his land heavy deck, and so he can cast multiple spells per turn. Because he's going to need to race the 3 damage from the Angel and kind of keep up and maybe try to get ahead. Tweety's at a virtual 8, though, so he doesn't have a lot of left to play with the Seal of Fire in play. Now, it looks like that was end of turn. All right.
Tweety discarded a Meddling Mage and a Shivan Reef.
Sure. Too many cards in hand. Embarrassment of riches. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tweety's at 10, and Stu has 3 cards in hand. See if there's looks like not a second Lightning Angel, though, so.
Not a second Lightning Angel is like music to Stu's ears. But Stu passed the turn without another land drop again. So noticeably, also we're missing a second mountain, so we don't have Fire Blast enabled. Right. So Tweety really has some breathing room here to try to get ahead, and he's now at the point now where all he has to do is like cast these mana leaks into these burn spells, and counter a few of them, and he'll be ahead.
Yeah, and he can play a fifth land here and actually have hard cast Force of Will to cast as well.
Yep. And we know Tweety's got the cards because he discarded land though. So if he's not playing land, I don't know what cards we kept.
Yeah.
Maybe Sword to Plowshares to plow your own angel if it becomes desperate. I don't know. We've got to have another land in there.
Yeah.
Or unless we've got some like burn spells, maybe we're just gonna like lightning bolt Stu and really try to like be the burn deck.
Wow, okay. He did discard his only land in hand last turn.
Wow. I mean, even if I had non-basic land, I'd play them into this wasteland. Stu is obviously missing land drops. That's fine.
So we're probably discussing whether Stu is doing something in a turn before Tweety discards.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna cast Bolt. Sure. Let's see if Bolt resolves. Because if it does, then Tweety still goes to discard. If it doesn't, Tweety may not have to go to discard.
It looks like he's going to take it. Still discard.
Okay, go to 7, virtual 5. And then we're going to tap. I'm assuming we're tapping the mountain. Ooh, okay, so we're going to bolt in response. All right, that's solid. Tweety deciding he'd rather have tempo by icing the mountain than by firing Stu.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable play, but it's also like there's like probably a greater than 50% chance the cards in Stu's hand are instants that he can cast in response.
That's fair.
But if they're like Urza's Rages or something in his hand, tapping it means he just doesn't get a play this turn.
Right. And Urza's Rage can't be countered, which is very important for Stu. And he drew another mountain too, so that's... okay, Stu needs to find 2 uncounterable damage, and Tweety's gone.
Yeah, maybe. You mentioned a line that Tweety potentially has earlier. He could plow his own angel to gain life.
This is true. And he has... So Chad pointed out that it was very odd for Tweety not to play the Meddling Mage. And so that indicates that he wants his white mana up at all times. And if that's the case, I'm going to soul read Tweety to have Sword to Plowshare specifically to gain 3 life.
Yeah.
I mean,
he also might have just been wanting to keep up instance, like he wanted to ice and bolt instead of play the Meddling Mage that is dead to the seal.
Tweety will end of turn bolt to put Stu to 3, which does, put Stu in kind of a precarious spot.
Yeah, it puts Stu to 8, right, after this attack.
Yep. Which all that means then is, Stu is I guess, a bolt and a fire away from losing to the angel, which is significant because there's only one red source of mana on Tweety's side. I mean, he may be holding a non-basic red source, but I don't know. He may also be holding another angel, so he can sword his own angel and then untap and play another one.
Sure, it's possible.
Maybe if Stu, because he can't. I don't know if Tweety's time to take the time to play a second angel has passed, but
yeah, there was a turn where if he had it, I think he would have played it, but he could have found it since then.
So chat pointing out that Stu has scroll mana, so we're going to scroll in the upkeep with 1 card in hand, I believe. So we have the 4 damage on the board, which means we're going to make Tweety have that Sword to Plowshares.
That's true, yeah.
So, all right, upkeep. This is where we scroll, right? Just do, I mean, especially if the last card in hand is a Fire Blast. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to beat that. I mean, he could counter, I guess. Like if he
plows
and counter and
he'll have,
counter,
yeah. I mean,
pretty bad for Stu.
Counter spells would be bad, but I think I think this scroll is going to be real solid, right? I think we scroll rack. Yeah, Chris scroll. All right. Take 2. What are we naming? What's the one card? Fire Blast. Everybody, hey look. Hey, look at this. This is how the red player draws it up. This is it. This is how we all want it. As a basic mountain aficionado myself, this is the dream. All right, so Tweety at a virtual, -4. Now, of course, he's got a full grip. He's got counter magic. I don't think this Fire Blast is resolving in any world, but it is a free spell, which is going to give Stu the ability to kind of go ham. Because what we can do is we can, next turn we get attacked by this angel, we just go ahead and crack the seal. Tweety gains 3. That's fine. But then we can, if we need to, on the upkeep, we can still activate Scroll Rack, respond to it, hold priority, sacrifice our mountains to cast Fire Blast, leaving 1 card in hand. When Chris Scroll resolves, we'll have 1 card to name. Get 2 damage guaranteed that way. There's a possibility.
You're not casting this Fire Blast until you have to.
Right.
Like if you're facing lethal damage. So, I mean, you're just going to keep scrolling him until there's a reason to cast it.
Yep. So we drew a mountain. That's fair. I think it's wow. We took.
Yeah, you should throw the seal before you take.
Yeah, 3. We should have. Yeah, we definitely should not have taken the 3.
Oh, that's strange to me.
I mean, just because that's the only way to beat the Angel's damage, because Angel has haste. So you have to do it in the text up. I wonder if Stu is just thinking, okay, hey, I don't want to commit to anything just yet, but I think it's free. I think it's fine to make him have the swords, and then okay. Apparently Tweety didn't have swords. Tweety was just dead.
Yeah. I mean, well, he was he needed swords plus counter magic, and he another scroll on the upkeep. He needed it. He needed. I guess he needed plow and counter magic, and that only bought him a turn.
All right. Well, Basic Mountain's going to get up on Tweety 1-0. Let's take a look at the sideboard. Who do we look at first?
Take a look at Tweety's. I think the hate for mono red is usually important.
So what do we see here? We see 2 Hydroblasts. We see the Nemesis, Circle Protection red, and Warmth ain't too shabby either.
Does Warmth trigger on your own spells or only your opponent's?
That is a great question. I don't play Warmth, so I don't know. I think
opponent, but
we're gonna look it up. Oracle text. Warmth. Okay. When an opponent casts a red spell, you gain 2 life. Yeah, I think that'd be too good. If I could just cast red spells and gain life like that.
There is a red hate spell. It's whenever any player taps a mountain, you gain a life. And then there's the Dragon's Claw, which whenever a player casts
Dragon Claw is either player, and that is the artifact from Mirrodin or Darksteel, I think.
But I guess that's not in this format.
Nope.
But yeah, there is a white enchantment that whenever a player taps a mountain.
Yep. Conversion? No, conversion turns them into planes.
It definitely starts with a C.
Yes.
I can't remember what it is. But it puts a trigger on the stacks. It's a little weird because people you can die with gain life triggers on the stack because they tap their mountains, and with the trigger on the stack, then they throw the burn at you.
Sanctimony. Chat's got her back. Sanctimony, and it's only opponents as well. That's pretty good. So really? Do we think Tweety brings in any of the Lava Men?
I don't think so. I think he has enough burn for the creatures. The creatures are probably he's got lightning angels to block. He's got bolt and fire ice to deal with the creatures. To me, Tweety's just bringing in the 4 obvious cards.
Sure.
And then maybe a null gets a consideration depending on how you think Stu sideboards. If you think Stu's bringing in bridges or vortex.
Sure.
Maybe.
I mean, Vortex is a given. Stu has it because Red decks bring it. He doesn't have it. So let's look at Stu, right? So Stu's got these 3 Pyroblasts. Those seem great. They tag Angel, they tag Meddling Mage, they tag Counterspells. This card does it all. You've got the 2 Pyrostatic Pillars, which I think are great against Tweety's deck in general. These Anarchies are probably going to see play because you can't beat. It's very difficult to beat COP Red, without them.
Yeah.
What do you think of
a lot of cards you can bring in, but I don't think I'd bring in the Pillars. I'd probably bring in the Pyroblast. Probably bring in the Anarchies. I'd be really tempted to basically just take out all my creatures and
well, I think Jackal-Pup, against the Bolt and the Fire. See, the Fire is the problem, right? Because you can just spread that in like 2 for 1.
Yeah.
I think that's a good reason to take out the Jackal-Pups. I mean, having repeatable damage is nice, though.
Yeah.
But I think those can go. That frees up 4 slots very easily. I think you could then, maybe take out the Volcanic Hammers.
Sure, weakest burn spell.
Yeah, it's the weakest burn spell, and that gives you 6 slots, and that can easily give you some number of Pyroblasts, Vortex, Anarchies, if you want to bring in the Anarchies. I don't know if Stu thinks this is an Undying Bridge matchup. I don't think it is, but maybe. I mean, Bridge and Curse Scroll definitely play well together, but we're gonna have to have our players answer those questions for us because they've started already. They have finished their sideboarding.
All right.
We're gonna see Stu start off with a Mountain and Seal of Fire, and we're gonna see Tweety.
Tweety is playing one copy of Exalted Angel, Chad.
Okay, 1 copy of Exalted Angel. All right. Tweety starts off with a Mom and some questionable land choices.
Gemstone Mine is not my favorite.
All right, we're gonna see the Mom take the seal, and I think we're gonna see a port on this Battlefield Forge and force this mine to just get mined.
Yeah, seems fine.
Upkeep, yep. Okay, well, Brian's just like says, okay, well, I was going to tap these manas anyway. I was going to tap these lands. Get an AK for 1. Mine the mine a little bit. Oh, but he's going to miss a land drop.
Oh, wow.
Holy moly, this is...
Tweety's in trouble.
This is, yeah. All right. Well, we're going to see the power of Stu's flavor here, which is Rishadan Port. Rishadan Port is a very good Magic card, everybody. Especially against these decks that really want to get to 4 mana. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. In this format, it's like the Wasteland Rishadan Port decision. If you're going to only play 1 is really tricky because Wasteland is, which one is better is very matchup dependent.
Yep.
And Wasteland can just be cold in a lot of matchups, and Port is never cold, but obviously Port requires a lot more investment to use.
So in my flavor of Sligh, I run Wasteland, and I absolutely believe that Rishadan Port is the better Magic card in middle school, but I can't take 2 mana off to tap your land. I want to just keep going. So I'd rather just Wasteland your land and then play another 1 mana spell.
I think that's true in a lot of decks that want this kind of mana disruption. If you're trying to apply pressure and disrupt their mana just long enough to get through, Wasteland is usually the choice.
But I definitely agree that Wasteland is very hit or miss in this format. There are a lot of basics in middle school, and sometimes Wasteland is just a card that doesn't cast your spells, and the best thing you can do is activate a Curse Scroll with it. So,
here's the downside of Stu's game plan here. The upside is your opponent's mana screwed and you have Rishadan Port. The downside is he's not killing him at all.
There's no pressure, right? That is Stu's version of the deck. He will do this, and depending on the deck, their ability to draw out of it is very minimal. So Stu can give himself time, and while Stu isn't providing pressure, Stu still has a full grip. He still has a lot of cards in hand. So when he needs to shift gears, he suddenly has a lot of resources and can cast multiple spells per turn very quickly and switch to, he'll take a turn off, cast a bunch of spells, and then start being able to activate this curse scroll. Tweety moving to discard. It looks like here. Yeah. Wow.
I'm not sure about Tweety's choice of Japanese non-foil mana leaks instead of the promo foil mana leaks.
The promo. You know, I'm surprised too. Oh, we see the volcanic hammers are still in the deck. Okay, interesting. I mean, it is still like 2 mana, 3 damage. It is still good, like a decent rate for the deck.
Sure,
It's fine.
And Stu might have boarded with a lighter touch than we were talking about.
Sure, he's on the play.
Maybe he just brought in the Pyroblast and like maybe one Vortex or something.
Yeah, I mean, being on the play, being a little bit more lower to the ground, I could see that. Although I can't imagine he doesn't have Sulfuric Vortex in the deck because it plays really good with the shot and port plan. You take a turn off, play the Vortex, and then you can just port them every turn after that. And then it's this slow burn of them trying to get out of port and just taking damage every turn from Vortex is real solid.
For sure, yeah.
But what is Tweety looking for out of here? He doesn't have a lot of answers to the Rishadan ports other than to draw more magic cards.
More lands, yeah. Just play more lands and try to get the Lightning Angel on board. I mean, I think that's like what Tweety can hope to do here.
Yeah.
The more cards that just pile up in Stu's hand, though, the harder it becomes.
Ooh, here's a first step.
Is a good start. Yeah.
That is a very good start. Okay.
Rishadan Port is pretty good against COP Red. You basically make your opponent keep a ridiculous amount of mana open to avoid like end of turn.
Okay, and then they can't cast spells. Sure. Well, and you know, Tweety's at 15, which is not 20, so that helps. You know. Robert.
Yeah, he's tapped out now, so like Stu might think about instead of porting here, just like throwing a bunch of burn at Tweety right now, but that's not what he did. So
no, I think we're going to make it really hard to use. So like we can tap the island, and I'm assuming we're tapping the. He had a 4th land. Yeah, we're tapping. Okay, so we're tapping both basics, leaving him with a painful land and a land that will self-destruct.
Right.
All right, so we're going to
ice the mountain.
Okay, sure. That draws a card. That's solid. That's what he needs to do. All right, that positioning like he drew a land. Excellent. Okay. And yeah, I mean, so if we can throw some spells at Tweety, then we can get into this curse scroll range, which is where we need to be, because that's the best way to beat the COP. Okay, we can.
Wasteland is good, yeah.
Yeah, Wasteland, the Battlefield Forge. We're still down to not many lands. The only red source we have. Oh no, we have a basic mountain. We have one of each basic. Okay. So, I mean, think of what a Jocklepup would have done here, right? If we could have done, like, turn 1 Jocklepup.
I mean,
maybe those were the right thing to do.
Yeah.
He would have gotten fired, right? We see the fire. But still, I don't know. Mog Fanatic. You know, Tweety would be at 5 less life, maybe.
Yeah, like a Mog Fanatic, like turn 1 Mog Fanatic or Grimovamancer would have been really good in this game. Like, just attacking for 1, and then maybe force just the fire to like a Mog Fanatic, which is never feel good for your opponent.
Yeah.
All right, we got the 3rd Rishadan port.
There we go. Tap all of your mana. Stu's like, I don't want to cast my spells anyway.
Yeah.
Now the problem, we've reached the point in the game where Stu's got a full grip, but Tweety's also got a full grip. So
yeah,
Stu needs like. Unfortunately, he needs to activate these curse scrolls.
Yeah, I think what Stu wants to draw every turn right now is a land. So,
yes, 100%.
Yeah, just keep playing lands. Get in a position where you can start tapping all of your opponent's lands and casting spells.
All right, so now I'm going to go count how much land does he have? He's got 4, 8, 12, 23 land. Oh, that's less than I thought he had. 23 land. A lot for a Sligh deck, which usually plays 19 to 20. He's playing 23. You know what would be also good for Stu, I think? Maybe his one of for flavor, his Orcish Librarian.
I actually don't
Fine.
know what that card does. I looked it up once and I have since forgotten.
Oh
So.
man, let me tell you, because I love this card. It's a 2 mana 1/1 Orc, which has an activated ability. When you activate it, you take the top 8 cards of your library, you remove 4 of them at random, and then you get to rearrange the other 4 on top of your deck.
I love it.
Yes. Let me figure out the activation costs. I think it's just 1 red. Orcish Librarian, yes. Look at the top 8 cards, 1 red and tap it. Look at the top 8 cards of your library. Exile 4 of them at random. Put the rest on top of your library in any order. I know about this card because for a hot minute when I played Commander, I played Mono Red, and I looked for every card advantage engine that Mono Red had. And this is one of the best card selection tools Red has. It is amazing. Because you're looking for a spell, and out of 8 cards, 1 of them will damage your opponent, usually. And hopefully it's one of those 4 that you get. But it is hilarious to activate. It chews through cards very quickly. And if Stu wants to find one of something that he needs, that is a good way to do it. But like you called it, Stu has drawn and played a land quite a lot so far. But Tweety is doing the same thing now, and he's starting to draw out of these ports.
Yeah, and he has a wasteland sitting on board too, so he can blow up a pain land. Tweety is moving to discard now, which is good for Stu.
Yeah, we're reaching a point now where Stu might, if he needs to punch something through, he could wasteland the fetch, causing Tweety to fetch, and while that's on the stack, play spells, and then Tweety's got 1 land to prevent damage if Stu can play at instant speed.
Right.
But Tweety also probably has a Force of Will in hand, because why wouldn't the blue deck have Force of Will?
Yeah, I don't know how much I love it in the matchup, but it's probably he's probably not boarding them all out. It's just such a good card when you can play Lightning Angel and still have counter magic up.
Okay, here come the bridges.
Stu is really aggressive at bringing in bridge. So he brings in bridge a lot more than I think he will. So
this might force a response from Tweety. If Tweety doesn't have an answer in his deck, let's see. Does he have anything main deck? No, he has nothing to beat this
on the board. Yeah.
Main deck. He's got nothing to beat it if it resolves. He's got overloads on the board.
He's got a burn.
Those are disenchants. He's got 2 disenchants. Okay. I don't know if Tweety brought in the disenchants. He might. He brought in the annulls. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. How unlucky. All right. All right. Do we see a pyroblast from Stu? Let's do this.
It looks like he's thinking about it.
I mean, I think this is where we go. No, or maybe we go ahead and we. Oh no! I was really hoping we'd cast Anarchy and fight over that instead. Because then Stu's draw becomes real fat, very real, very quickly.
Yeah, there's still a COP in play. We just can't see it.
Yes, there's still a COP in play, chat. Brian's camera is a bit narrow. We could probably consolidate his graveyard a little bit, but.
And I think that there is a 1 counter Gemstone Mine still in play as well.
Yes, there's still a 1 counter Gemstone Mine. So Tweety has access to 4 mana. Looks like a 1 of each basic and the 1 counter mine. And we're going to see Tweety adjust his field there for Stu's benefit and ours.
I mean, I think you have Lightning Angel, you deploy it here, right? Maybe you get pyroblasted, but it's probably okay to trade.
I think Tweety has to take the time, right?
It's like a meddling mage. I'm just guessing. I can't see it.
Can't see either. Okay, that is
Yeah, it's a
a meddling mage. Yes. Okay, that's gonna name Pyroblast. I'm sure of it. I mean, it's gonna it's gonna lose to the
it's dead
Seal
to
Fire.
100 things. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's dead on board, but it's there. Now there's a curse scroll. It's tapped. I don't know why it's tapped, but it is. I don't think we curse scrolled.
I don't think so either.
Pyroblast. You got it, buddy. Yeah. All right. So Pyroblast was the name. That makes sense. It got iced up in response to port. Okay. Thanks, chat. I just assumed something else got iced, but I think that makes perfect sense. All right, so Tweety is going to pass there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but there's a Pyroblast named on Meddling Mage.
Meddling Mage Umpire. Okay, yeah, got it. Cool. I like that. Look at that. Our TO thinking about our viewers.
Yeah, I hope Stu just wrote all, like, took all that and just like immediately seal fires it.
You gotta commit, man. Yeah, this meddling mage is gonna stay on board. Nope, it's gone. It's gone. All right. Well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious. Like, Stu has like 6 cards in his hand. I don't know what they are.
Well,
but like, he could definitely like double port here and resolve 2 spells if he wants to just throw some burn at Tweety.
I think that might actually be reasonable, because Tweety's not going to kill you on the next turn, and then you take a turn off of porting, and he's sort of drawing out of the port range anyway. And if you can get some real damage in, let's say we could deal, 6 damage. That put Tweety down to 8, which is really close when you've got this curse scroll in play.
Yeah, I mean, you want to start getting cards at your hand so this curse scroll becomes better.
Yes.
Curse scroll should now be untapped, right? Like, we didn't miss another ice, did we?
There are a lot of fire knocks in the graveyard. I don't know. Maybe we did. Okay, yeah. No, Stu says it should be untapped. All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Is there any reason to take 2, or do you just seal it?
All right. So we're going to start casting spells, and we're going to start saying, okay, hey, use up your mana. And Tweety says I'll take 3? No way. Oh, no, we're killing the meddling mage. Okay, I was like, there's no way.
Can't save your creatures, so you can still kill the meddling mage.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't imagine a world in which that happened. All right, so Tweety deciding his mana is better served countering red spells. Stu says, "Hey, I do. Are we gonna waste this this one counter gemstone mine?"
I seriously doubt it.
No, I think we can port 3 times and have 4 mana to cast spells, which is where I think you're right. I think we want to be, and then we're just gonna start cashing in this curse scroll. Ooh, are we going? Okay, yes, this is all upkeep. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So upkeep, get your island in your draw stat, or untap, upkeep stat. Cool. If you're gonna float, then we'll move, but we're not. Okay. So we've gotten rid of all the white mana.
Oh, he is gonna ice again with some of that mana. Yeah, he iced something. He iced a wasteland, I guess.
Yeah. I'm surprised we're not just trying to cast or activate this curse scroll blindly.
Yeah.
Like, just name the same card and just hope for the best.
Yeah. Maybe he's like really protective of the information. I don't know. Or
maybe. I mean, Stu's playing like he's got Pyroblast. Maybe he doesn't, and he doesn't want to reveal that. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's
But
what happens.
he could have scrolled and kept Pyroblast up. Like he had
Yeah,
4 mana.
yeah. I mean, Tweety's already playing around Pyroblast. But there are, maybe he's keeping multiple, well, multiple Pyroblasts don't matter if we're on the end step. This is the most, chat saying this is the most dirtly match involving mono red ever. Yeah,
I know.
Stu is seasoned at this control version of mono red, right? This is like what, turn 14, and this deck has Jackal-Pup in it. So I don't know what, and Stu is the reason that we've reached turn 14 with nothing happening. So
Yeah. I bet it doesn't have Jackal-Pup in it still, but but yeah, I don't know why he's not activating the Curse Scroll. Like I don't know if he just forgot it existed.
Right. I think it's like, oh, it's not automatically 2. I guess I can't, you know.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
it's like his Curse Scrolls only cost 2 mana to activate, but they also say you can't use it unless you only have 1 card in hand. I can't read Korean, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says.
Right. All right. So, for those who don't know, the Japanese printing of Curse Scroll has a misprinted mana cost. It does affect the entire print run, I believe, or at least a strong number of them. But it has 2 to activate instead of 3, which is amazing if you're a red player and want to use more of your resources. Bad if you want to play by the rules. All right, so we're going to see Tweety draw out of these port range, cast this Lightning Angel without having to blow up the mine, which has survived so long. And now Stu's going to have to play. We're going to play now with the Pyroblast. Okay. I'm assuming this is on the stack we're countering.
Yeah. I don't think it really matters, but it seems fine.
All right. It's going to the graveyard. What did Tweety do? Tweety said, yeah, that resolves. All right. Excellent. That is 1 Pyroblast from Stu down. Now, notably, Anarchy actually also gets rid of the angels as well. So,
yeah,
that is something I think worth fighting over that maybe Tweety doesn't want to fight over. I don't know. I think...
yeah.
I think
I would almost rather
Anarchy.
use 2 burn spells on a angel than a Pyroblast.
Yeah.
For the very reason you just mentioned. But
yep.
Like especially like I don't mind the Pyroblast there if you can like untap and deal like 6 or 9 to Tweety in this turn.
Right.
But he didn't do that. He just tapped back.
Yep. All right, we're gonna get rid of the Riftstone Portal. It looks like.
Reflecting Pool.
Reflecting Pool. Yeah. And like if I don't know if Anarchies are in the deck. I assume that they are, but if I have an Anarchy, I want to cast this Anarchy and fight over that because that'll get rid of an angel and the Circle Protection. And you can port your opponent's land, so he has to have force.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's got 2 Anarchies in his sideboard. I mean, he might not have one, and
he might not.
Like,
it's very possible.
Speculating to draw it. So.
All right. So, do you think that there's a world in which this wasteland hits this gemstone cavern or gemstone mine? Just to
like it better be lethal. Like if you're doing
okay, that's fair.
Like, you better have lethal, and like even if you have lethal, I'd be scared of doing it because like you just get forced and pass back. It just feels terrible.
Plays the non-basic land he's been sandbagging. Yeah, I don't know.
Tweety hasn't been shy about playing his non-basics, I think, because he just played the. I mean, maybe he just played that just so he could cast the angel and keep 1 mana up. But
I'm willing to believe that. Okay, we're tapping all of the white mana. Interesting.
Yeah, seems fine. Pick a color.
Yep. Although I'd want to take him off of blue.
Yeah, take him off of Hardcast Force, Mana Leak.
Yeah.
Can't really take him off all the colors because he can always kill his Gemstone Mine to play something. But
you could. Well, you could tap that too. You've got 3 ports. You could waste it, like you said. You know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
He does only
just
have
in
two
case.
islands.
You know, if he tries to float mana, you know, move to the next phase, and he probably takes mana burn. All right, time to start tapping down land with this Mog Fanatic.
Yeah, secretly another port.
Yep. It is
Um,
a Rishadan port that uses the attack step.
yeah, I mean, Tweety has plows and bolts, and he's used a lot of fire ices to draw cards. So I don't know if he has any of those left, but
Let's take a look here and realize that Stu has 3 more land than Tweety does.
yeah, I think Tweety may have just cast an AK for 3. I can't quite see what happened.
That would be very good. Although Tweety already has a full grip, I'm not sure exactly what he's looking for, except for like more
Make sure he
protection.
hits land drops. Land drops is the most important thing, I think.
Yeah. So it looks like they're talking to each other over the phone, which is a way to communicate. That's fine.
Some technical difficulties, perhaps. Maybe Tweety will tell him that he has a curse scroll in play.
I just checked my text messages, and Stu said that they had an audio lag, so that's why they're calling each other. But
Okay.
That's modern problems require modern solutions, folks.
Yeah.
Man, imagine how bad Sulfuric Vortex would be right now.
Is
with the COP red.
Yeah, that would be pretty terrible. I mean, seeing COP red in your opponent's sideboard is like a reasonable reason not to bring it in. You just kill yourself with it. But
yeah.
So Stu's dicing. He has 7 cards in hand.
Yes, which is
Interesting.
the worst number when you have this curse scroll. But
yeah, I'd still gamble. I'll take a 1 in 7 chance of 2 damage. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, here comes a warmth. Okay. All right, so now this is the opportunity, right? So Stu has to have Anarchy, and then we get to port down this island, and then we get to cast Anarchy and fight over it with a Pyroblast. Let's go. That's what I want to see happen.
Yeah. Ryan's got 7 cards in hand, and it's got to be like double force, right?
You see, this is the problem now, because now Stu can't just dump his hand and then go to town with this Curse Scroll, and because we haven't been activating Curse Scroll, we haven't gotten enough chip shot damage in to really get there. And as Chad is pointing out, Stu had a good game plan, but it's not good against Warmth. And see, normally I would say Warmth is bad against red decks. I don't like it. I mean, I see it come in sometimes. The Fork Vortex is good against it, and usually it's an uphill battle, but usually you can overcome it. In this position right now, Warmth is insane.
Yeah, I don't mind Warmth as your sideboard choice in a deck like Tweety's where you can apply pressure.
Fair. That's fair.
Like, if you're just going to try to like play Warmth in land still, it doesn't seem like a good solution. But
that's usually where I see people try to do it. So that's a fair point.
Like, the circle protection just feels a lot better if you're going to sit back and play control.
Yep.
But I also don't hate just diversifying your answers, but because like a second COP doesn't do anything, but a Warmth and a COP does something. So.
Absolutely. Chat just literally said the same thing you did. So I think if I'm Stu, I'm hoping all my cards align, and I'm going to cast this Monster Anarchy so we can make a highlight reel out of it. That's right, Stu. That's what you're thinking, you know?
I think Stu's just trolling us because he's waiting until he has double Urza's Rage mana. He's gonna go end of turn, kicked Rage, untap, kicked Rage, and he's like not activating the curse scroll just so he gets to do that play. I think that's what's happening.
See, I like that, but I think. Well, actually, no. That would Rage into Rage would be good. Damage can't be prevented. Yeah, you're right. It can't be countered and can't be prevented. So yeah, let's see this. Let's go. Rage. Do we have rage mana? We have 6, 7, 8. We have rage
It's
mana.
11. It's 11, right?
Kicker is 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we need 12 mana. What do we've got? We've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my gosh, we're a mana short. Maybe that's where we are. Maybe Stu's got both Urza's Rage in hand. He's like, I just get to do this, and Tweety can't beat me. Because Tweety is going to gain 4 life out of that, go to 18 and take 20 damage. So Vortex. Oh no. All right, so Stu says, hey, you're not going to gain life past this point, but I'm putting a clock on myself.
Yeah,
it's not the worst
that's
clock because
the
it's going to tap Brian's mana every turn.
Yeah.
And it does get a card out of Stu's hand, which will allow him to deploy the game plan of dump hand, activate Curse Scroll.
Which does not seem like a game plan he's at all interested in.
I'm totally on the Urza's Rage plan. Let's double Urza's Rage. We have one Urza's Rage highlight in our YouTube videos. Go find that. It's worth it. It's great. If we can get a double Urza's Rage into our videos, oh man, that's a bingo card. That's a bingo spot if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, it's what's hilarious is like there was like a brief period of Magic where that happened all the time. Like it was a like very common thing to happen in like Invasion Block Constructed, and I believe in that Standard around that era as well.
Invasion Block Constructed. Wow. Yeah, sure. You can't prevent it. You can't counter it. What do you do? Try to like gain life, I guess. All right, so Tweety's going to count his land. Stu says, I want to tap these things. And
I'm actually a little confused about what's happening.
Same. Port to tap him out main phase. Is this so? Okay. Oh, okay. We're just gonna dump hand and go and face now. So, Stu has tapped him out. So now Stu's gonna like start casting spells. Okay. So we've got 4 mana available, 3 of which are red. We've already attacked with the Fanatic, or it got iced. One of those two. I think we attacked with it to tap down a land.
I don't know how COP red works. Do you have to have a source on? Like...
I believe a source has to exist. I don't think you can give yourself shields.
Okay.
I'm going to pull up the Oracle rulings. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, you can't choose a source that doesn't exist. So you could choose Mog Fanatic. You could do that. You could choose Seal of Fire. But you can't choose stuff that's not on the stack.
Yeah, Ty is saying you have to pick a source when it resolves, so you can dump mana into it to avoid mana burn. But
right, yeah, you could. Okay, sure. Okay. So here we go. Man, Stu's the control deck and the burn deck. All right, I'm here for it.
I mean, so what does he get to do? Like cast 3 spells here?
Yeah, 3 spells. Which, hey, if they're all bolts, all 3 damage, that's gonna bring Tweety down a ways.
Within Urza's Rage.
4 bolts, 3 fire blasts. So we can't cast 4 bolts. We only have 3 mountains. And Tweety can still have Force of Will. So like, while we do have mountains to sacrifice, I don't think we want to like throw the fire blast in just yet. Although tapped out is the best time to use it. Force Tweety to use the force. I think that's fine. So we've seen a bolt. Go ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't actually need 4 bolts. He just needs 3.
Yeah. So we've cast the second 3 damage spell in the form of Incinerate.
Yeah, I think Tweety's at 13 right now, and then the turn is
Yes,
at
Tweety
10.
is at 13 right now. They're going to resolve this turn, I think, before those things change. Tweety drops down to 10 with that. Yeah, if Tweety has no force of will in hand, then this a Fire Blast and another Bolt plus this Mog Fanatic. Actually, hey, we've got Seal of Fire and Mog Fanatic in play. So if Circle Protection, if you can't choose, those are probably chosen with Circle Protection. So they can't damage this turn. They should be COP'd, yeah. So Chad is definitely calling that Seal of Fire and Mog Fanatic should be COP'd. So we're 1 damage short if we have Fire Blast and a Bolt. But bringing Tweety to 10...
COP shields last through phases? Because I presume like he tapped him down main phase.
Yes,
one.
it should last through the turn because it's the next time
okay.
a source would. So for the turn,
okay,
that is true.
Okay, so all that to deal 6, I guess.
But hey, putting him down to 10, guess what 10 is?
Yeah, 10's the magic number.
10 is the magic number for Urza's Rage.
Yeah, he's 1 mana short, so he's just draw land next turn.
Yeah, sure. You know, we're minus a few cards in hand, so we don't have to, to worry about. We're closer to the scroll rack or curse scroll thing. If Stu remembers that exists, I don't know. We'll see. So Tweety's thinking here. What happened to the Sulfuric Vortex?
I don't know.
Did we we hydroblasted it. Okay, so we hydroblasted it so that way we could gain life. Okay, sure.
That's a curious play, I guess.
But. I believe it because we just saw what happens when Tweety can't gain life, right?
Yeah.
He takes lots of damage after he gets ported.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see Stu take this turn off, unless we have the Urza's Rage mana. Even still, with Urza's Rage mana, Tweety goes to 2, because he's at 10 life despite his life counter.
Yeah.
You got all gain life.
Ports in play.
We do have all 4 in play. Are we sacrificing this right now? Stu's going in for the kill. If that's the case, Stu's going in for a kill. That it looked like that 1 damage resolved. Oh no, I see what happened. He named the fanatic and then Stu flung it. So I think Tweety's at 9.
Okay.
Oh no. Tweety didn't take the damage. He just lost an extra land to these ports. Okay. If I'm correct. We'll see. If there's 5 land tapped, he didn't take the 1. Okay, so he didn't take the 1. All right, cool.
Why is there 6 land tapped?
Probably because
Stu... he's casting... I don't know. I'm so confused. He's casting AK at some point.
Yes. Okay. So one of those extra lands is for the circle protection for the fanatic. And then I think the last one got... the 6th land got tapped with the other one to cast AK. All right. Tweety's got 2 land untapped. That's not a lot for...
Yeah. Stu can easily tap 2 of them and get some damage in.
Yep.
Well, sort of. You've got a warmth in play.
Right. Yeah, that's an issue. But
he could tap 2. Well, I don't know.
Well, we just tap the 2 lands, and we can sacrifice. Maybe we can get in this Seal of Fire to deal 2.
Well,
Tweety untapping though is really bad because we lost that Mog Fanatic. I think I think what we're just trying to
Stu
figure
definitely
out
has
is
an Urza's Rage because he has not wastelanded this reflecting pool. So it
right.
like has to be Urza's Rage, right? There's no reason
I
otherwise.
that's what I believe.
Or no, he has 12 mana already. But I guess we think Tweety's at 9, right?
I know Tweety's at 10. I still believe he's at 10. So
Okay.
if Tweety's at 10, we need to find a way to deal
Urza's
2
Rage
damage.
does not kill him.
Now's the time to activate Scroll. Think of the like if we had hit just once out of all the other turns, the game could be over. Meddling Mage. All right, well, Meddling Mage is dead, right? Because we can still kill it through the COP.
Yeah, you can still kill with Seal of Fire.
Next time a source will deal to you. Yeah, so, okay, so... Urza's Rage, all right, so Tweety knows what's up. All right.
Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag. No, activate this Curse Scroll. What are you doing? What is happening? Oh my gosh. I don't... No! Okay, did we draw land? We probably drew a land. All right, get this Reflecting Pool out of there. Oh, we still have 12 mana. Okay, yeah. So we still have 12 mana. Or what did we waste? Did I miss something?
I don't know. I didn't see a land die, but maybe there's a land I wasn't seeing.
Yeah, there's... Unfortunately, Tweety's play area is a little small.
Tapping 4 port. Oh, he's just passing to Tweety and tapping on his upkeep. Oh, yeah. It's just lag, I guess, because the reflecting pool is now gone.
Yep, okay. So Steel of Fire hits the graveyard. What happened?
Are we just like really off on like their what's happening? Because like I feel like Tweety's screen is like way behind.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening. Okay, so I think Tweety his camera is just lagging. I'm gonna refresh this thing. That explains everything. Not only is Tweety lagging, but his video is just behind. All right, so yep. Now I lost Tweety as a result. Okay. All right, let's see here. Womp womp.
Sorry, we'll just speculate what's happening by watching Stu's screen.
All right, look.
Tapping 4 Tweety's lands. Tweety's
Okay.
doing nothing and passing.
So okay, so that makes sense. So Tweety attacked, it got sealed. That's that.
Morph. What could it be?
Oh
Could be
no, this could
anything.
be real bad for Stu. This could be it. Oh no.
Maybe he could use the scroll on it while it's a 2/2.
Oh my gosh, if only. No, because okay. We need to scroll Tweety's face and hit. And then like hope for the best.
I mean, it shouldn't be too hard for him to kill the angel if he wants to kill the angel.
Yeah, we're just gonna kill it with Urza's Rage.
Well, this might be going to Tweety's face because this, if Tweety was actually at 10, this would take him.
All right, Tweety needs to
not
adjust
quite
his life
legal.
total. I think he's figuring that out now.
Well, he just raised it to 18, so he's been doing something I haven't seen.
Yeah. If Tweety's actually at 18, that changes a lot of things. All right, I'm gonna text Tweety, find out.
Yeah, I mean, it must be that 1 damage plus 8 damage was lethal.
Let's see.
I mean, one thing to know is Urza's Rage unkicked can be prevented. So I guess he just raged the angel.
Yes, he raged the angel because it can't be countered.
So maybe Tweety is at 18. I don't know. Maybe he's gained some more life than I realized.
Well, I mean, this is fine. We could still be on the game plan if we could just activate this curse scroll.
I think there's a pithing needle in play. We missed that.
It's probably off screen. You're right. 100%.
That card that's totally legal in this format.
No, it's a Phyrexian Revoker who's just not attacking. So we can't see it. And Tweety's just said, oh, gentleman's agreement, I want to attack.
Yeah, Tweety must be at 18.
He must be. That's... Chat, do we think Tweety's actually at 18, or do we think he's at 10? Did we miss something?
He adjusted his life total from 16 to 18 when that Urza's Rage killed Exalted.
Right.
Needle.
Or maybe Tweety thought that he could just like cash in these COP shields and Stu bought into that? Maybe? I don't know. Alright, so I definitely didn't have this game going this long, but here we are. All 4 ports. How many wastelands? 2 wastelands or 3 wastelands?
I think he's used 3.
Alright, so alternative win condition here, right? We have Tweety decking himself.
I guess. Did Stu just discard his Sulfuric Vortex?
Yeah, he moved to discard. What does he have in his hand that he'd rather have?
I don't know.
I mean, that was a real good card a moment ago.
7 cards with different names. That's what he has.
I mean, I guess we know there's only one more Vortex in hand, if that's the case. So getting rid of that means that there's no singletons left, so we can dream about activating this curse scroll.
What is that?
This match is killing our Twitch numbers. Second curse scroll. Maybe that will remind him that it exists.
You might, maybe.
I mean, we can't activate more than one right now. We can only activate one of them.
We're in a different universe where that other curse scroll exists. But
all right, let's see if we can unlock this. All right, I'm gonna assume Tweety's at 18 now, because wow.
Yeah, that 6 damage I guess didn't happen. I'm so confused about.
I'm confused about that. Right? I'm confused. We must have missed something.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, they're having fun. I'm having fun watching this because I still want the red deck to win, and I want to see if 4 ports does something. I mean, we're tapping all the white mana.
It's keeping us here for a little while.
I mean, we could actually. This might actually be the strategy, right? Because let's look at this. Okay, Tweety has 3 basic planes, which he has out in the battlefield. Then he's got 2 Riftstone portals, which are destroyed. 2 Gemstone mines, which I believe both are destroyed. He's gotten.
Hey, there's a curse scroll getting activated.
What game are we in? Are we sure this is the right game? Holy moly! Tweety, I think, may only have 1 or 2 white sources left. I think he's got 2 City of Brass, which we haven't seen yet. Oh no, he's got the Battlefield Forge, which may have been destroyed.
I don't think Tweety's playing a City of Brass in any universe with 4 ports in play.
That's actually fair. So if that's the case, then depending on the way that the decks stack up, Tweety has 6 white sources to Stu's 4 wastelands, and that's 6. That's 9 if we include the basic planes. So we could eventually find one that won't kill us with these ports. In time to cast a Lightning Angel, but we have to get to all of them. Whoa! What do we do? Oh, we're discarding to hand size. All right. I thought we were casting that. I was like, what are we doing? This is not Fire Blast Day. Fire Blast time. So there is actually a real possibility that Tweety is going to take too long to find another white source to actually go ahead and win the game. All right.
But who conceded? I'm so confused.
We're gonna watch their cameras because I don't know what happened. All right. Tweety. Scoops. Oh my goodness. Okay, so.
But why?
Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Tweety's deck, right? We take a look at Tweety's deck and we see, hey, look, we've got 3 basic plans already out in the battlefield. We've lost our 2 Riftstone portals. We've lost our 2 Gemstone mines. We've got Battlefield Forge and a Darkar Wastes left in the deck that don't kill
Battlefield
us.
Forge is dead.
Battlefield Forge is dead too. So we got Atakar Wastes or 2 City Brass. What does City Brass do really poorly against Rashadenport? Keep you alive. So I'm actually thinking Tweety doesn't have a way to actually win the game.
Yeah, well, and creatures couldn't really win the game because he would have to, like, Stu had 7 burn spells in his hand.
Right.
Or he had Pyroblasts and burn spells.
Right.
So he could kill any of Tweety's creatures.
So I definitely think there's a real thing where Tweety just drew too many cards and he's going to lose this game.
Or he was just really sick of getting all of his lands ported for like an hour or so.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't cast any white spells. Stu had that number locked, right? He knew Tweety's path to victory is casting white spells. Tweety cannot win the game if he can't cast his white spells. And there weren't any right sources left. There was one that we're trying to find. So, because you only get to play one a turn.
It's possible there was an Atakar Waste in the graveyard that we missed too. Maybe it wasn't in.
Maybe. It's possible he discarded it to hand size, not thinking anything of it. That is entirely possible. Wow. What a wild games, everybody. Thanks for those who stuck around. This is going to be a fun highlight reel to watch for the commentary, of course.
Next time Tweety is going to be on Urza's Rage because upkeep, he can Urza's Rage Stu and win this game.
Yes. Yes, he can. I mean, so Stu's going to get this game 2 games to 0 in second game. It was an absolute slugfest. Stu showing the power of this build, right? Which is just control. He can just play this kind of control version and out control the tempo control deck. Is it Tweety a control deck? I don't know. Chat, tell us what you think. Is this deck a control deck? No idea. Wild.
I see the Tweety hand gesture of frustratingly explaining the loss.
Yes. If you play Tweety, yes, you've been there. Absolutely. I'm really curious to see how Stu boarded. I think it's pretty easy to figure out how Tweety boarded, maybe. Stu definitely showed us some surprises. Chat saying Tweety's deck is not control.
I honestly was surprised Tweety brought in a null. I like, to me, if you're going to bring in either a null or disenchant, I'd bring in disenchant because
Sure.
disenchant answers a scroll that gets cast before you draw your annul.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to see the annuls in the deck, but like I get like he's probably anticipating Stu bringing in Bridge, which he did, so he like had the right read on Stu. Also, they probably played this matchup before because
they have. I'm sure that they have.
So he probably has played against Stu, and Stu brought in Bridges.
Right.
So I think that makes the null look a lot better if you know Stu's bringing in Vortex and Bridge, and is just trying to play this game.
Sure. Well, this has been fun. We're going to bring you guys the conclusion of our league next week. After this week, we will cut to top 8. We will know who our top 8 people are. Stu, obviously top seed. Tweety, probably second seed. Again, these players were both undefeated prior to tonight. And so what we normally do for our leagues is when we cut to top 8, we do the quarterfinals off stream. So those matches will get played whenever those players can do it. We will then have our top 4, which we will then stream the conclusion of our top 4 on Thursday. And we'll have three matches to bring you: semifinals, and the finals. So definitely tune in. You can peek at the deck lists of the top 8 players. If you hop into our Discord, they will get posted there. Top 8 is played open deck list. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to stream that in its entirety on next Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds good. I hope to be playing and not commentating, so we'll see.
Right? Yep. I squeezed in at a 3-2 record, which there'll be 2 3-2 players that make it. I don't think my tiebreakers are good enough. I think I'm going to bubble at 9th. We'll find out. We always want to be 8th seed, but we're always usually 9th, right? Is that how it works? So, yeah. But definitely tune in next week. It'll be great to see whoever wants to show up and have fun. It's going to be a blast. It'll be great. But until then, we will see you next time.